Hey, it's Morning Brew, and we're back to it, back to business today, Monday, June 2nd, brand new month, second half of the year. And with us today is Dennis Domrzalski, one of the great reporters over at Albuquerque Business First. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how you guys doing? You know, the first segment I saw you guys talking about the spaceport. I just want you to know I have bought both of you tickets for the first flight.
Good.
You're so sweet. You're the best.
Yeah.
Well, you've got all this money, $500,000, you won't miss it.
Nothing for me. So,
what a guy. Thanks, Dennis.
no problem.
I'm astounded.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of who I am.
So touched.
You know,
It's what I do.
yeah, it's just
who I am.
Yeah. Oh, good God. Nice to be here as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have two compelling stories in the pages of Albuquerque Business First. Let's talk about the ACA, a.k.a. Obamacare, in New Mexico. Hey, it's going great, isn't it?
Well, the whole idea of this thing, Larry, of the ACA is to supposedly get everybody insured so that they all have primary care doctors, physicians they could go to, get the, treatment and stay out of emergency rooms. That's not happening.
And preventive medicine.
Preventive care, yes. But that's not happening. Actually, nationwide, they're finding that emergency room visits are up so far this year in the first 4 months of the year. The American College of Emergency Physicians did a big study. And here in New Mexico, it was interesting. I called Loveless, their hospitals in the Albuquerque area up about 1% emergency room visits so far this year over last year, and Presbyterian up about 6.6%. And when I chatted with the people from Presbyterian, they said that there's greater emergency room usage with ACA plans.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you suppose that is?
There's a number of, there could be a number of reasons. If you try to get on with a primary care physician,
right?
I don't think there's any slots open.
Yeah.
So I suspect that a lot of these people who are perhaps newly insured are probably having trouble finding doctors, and if they do, something happens to them, they're going to go into the emergency room. The other thing is, about 2 years ago, I did a story on Presbyterian on how they're trying, what they call navigate people out of the emergency room that don't belong there.
Right.
And look, if it's not a real emergency, get out of here. They just don't kick them out. They get them to either a primary care doctor or urgent care. But they found that 80% of the people that they were navigating out, meaning who weren't there for real emergencies, actually had insurance. And so what they find is that there is a culture of people who just there's a group of people who just use the emergency room.
If they feel sick,
Yeah.
they go there.
Yeah. So,
like for a cold or flu or whatever.
And then you're in there with heart palpitations and you can't.
Exactly. Or blood's gushing out of your
broken
arteries.
arm.
A brain, brain oozing out of your head.
Right.
No, we got this fellow with a cold here or the flu. So,
headache.
Yeah.
Or they want drugs. A lot of times, they want painkillers.
So, and the other, it could be pent-up demand too. We don't know how many people yet who have ACA plans, either in this state or nationwide, who were previously uninsured. We just don't know that yet. If they were, they probably have a bunch of stuff wrong with them, and so they're just going to go and use it.
Instead of just staying home and being sick, and now they're going, well, I have this and I have this, but I can't get into my doctor, so ER time.
Yeah, and I suppose if I were in that position and little things happen to me, I get really nervous. I go to the doc. If I didn't have one, I'd probably shoot myself into the emergency room, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's the culture
thing.
Sign-ups if you probably talk to the health exchange people, they probably would spin it like it's going okay. Is it going okay?
Well, we're not going to know for a while. In other words, the reason being because the open enrollment ended in March, and there really was a big surge right in the last couple of weeks. So we get about 32 to 36,000 people signed up. As we've talked about before, the big thing is 112,000 new people on Medicaid, which is also huge. The insurers aren't going to know how to price future policies until they get results from this year, meaning the claims and all that stuff. So it's going to be very difficult for them. The interesting thing is they had to file in April their pricing, their policies for 2015. And once again, they had to do that without any knowledge of how this is actually going to work. I've been talking with some brokers off the record, and they say this is a mess. And they say that this year and next year, you're just going to see a whole mess of large companies and small companies dropping people.
Huh.
It's not going to be cheaper than it was before.
Wow.
And that's just that.
Let's go to a different topic. Intel had an announcement just recently about their future production capabilities and what their mission would be at the Rio Rancho plant, and it's going to change.
Well, the Rio Rancho plant has gotten passed over for a new round of technology to pack more transistors onto a chip. I think it's the third round of upgrades that we've missed.
Right.
And as Dan Mayfield, our reporter, called a couple of analysts, one of them said, look, 2 years this plant is history.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Here's the problem, and it could go either way now. They keep making, more powerful chips, more powerful chips. Truth is, almost no one really needs those. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're sitting at your computer doing word processing or watching video games, you don't really need a supercomputer. PCs sales have slowed down. Intel kind of got caught on that. There is the possibility that everybody's going to settle for sort of the mid-range stuff. And if that holds, then this plant can keep churning out mid-range stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got an idle plant in Chandler, Arizona that they built. It's been sitting,
Right.
And this plant right here, I'm told that the ceilings aren't aren't high enough for the new machines that they need to make these chips. And what are you going to do? Just knock out ceilings and stuff? So I think it's obviously it's a huge deal. Yeah, it could be. I suppose if that happens, the sort of silver lining is that they've been winding down gradually. They've got 2,800 people out there now. At one time, they had 5,000 to 7,000. So they have been winding down. And but still, in terms of manufacturing, exports, Intel is like 50–60% of all New Mexico's manufacturing exports.
My goodness.
So it's a huge blow. We're dependent on our private sector is basically dependent on one company. Our economy is dependent on one industry, the government.
Right.
And our private sector, which is very weak, depends on one company.
Yeah. So it's not a good scenario.
No, it's not.
So the experts are saying a 2-year window, maybe 5?
Yeah.
At the outside?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, that's, when you think about it, if that happens, boy, oh boy. I don't know who you're going to get to come in and fill that space. I think you'd have to knock it down. Perhaps they could get out early, and maybe Tesla could come in, knock it down, and build their gigafactory.
Are you listening,
we should know
Elon?
something about Tesla, too.
Yeah, so, New Mexico's economy, thank God for oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, we would be totally in the dumps.
What's the timeline on Tesla? I thought they were going to announce
Well, originally everybody thought May, but now they're saying a couple more months.
So interesting.
No one knows.
And I read that they actually signed a lease on a 400,000 square foot building in Palo Alto, California, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
So
is California back in the mix?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows? You just don't know. You have no idea. Obviously, it's got to be based on economics, but it's probably based on other things. Especially with these younger people, they may want clean air or something like that. I don't know, but so I think it's more these days. I think it's got more to do with just pure economics and costs and dollars and bottom line. So. Everybody that I chat with, I think the conventional wisdom, and you always have to be careful about that, the conventional wisdom is Nevada.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Because of their tax situation.
Yeah, and rail lines go straight to their plant out there in California. So,
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, anyway, that's a happy Monday morning.
Give us something good. Do you have any nuggets of happy thoughts?
Yeah, do you have any...
Happy thoughts from Dennis Domrzalski.
No, absolutely.
He doesn't.
I mean, what the heck? I got to
How's
cover
biking?
this stuff.
How's your biking
My
going?
biking is going well. As we were talking before we went on, I'm inhaling bugs.
Inhaling bugs, yes.
As you pointed out, protein.
Yes.
And it's free.
It's free protein.
Yeah,
Yes, there you go. There's
got
some
that
good
going
news.
for us.
Oh, gosh.
Free protein.
Yeah, oh, good God.
And fiber.
Absolutely.
If you want to know more about these stories, of course, get online or get the print edition of Albuquerque Business First. There's the URL. And you can check out these articles and much, much more with
Enjoy your flights.
Thank you very much.
Dennis.
It's very generous of you.
That is the best gift I've ever received. Thank you.
Dennis
Richard Branson, we're going to
Domrzalski,
come find him.
rich guy, with us here on
Rich
the show.
and generous
Look at
and
that.
handsome.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you about a wonderful exchange student program and how you can get involved. That's next here on the Morning Brew. Thanks for watching.